Bonjour to my French fans. This is Cleo and I'll be answering your questions today. Sorry this video has taken so long. I've been busy moving countries, getting married, having babies, well, practicing the having babies part. Okay, first question. This is from Marion. How did you get so flexible? How did you train? Were you flexible when you started pole dancing? Okay, so I did gymnastics when I was a little girl. I stopped gymnastics at about 11. I also did ballet from when I was 6 till when I was 16. So I was pretty flexible as a child. During my teens and in my 20s, I always seemed to be busting out a high kick or a split just randomly anywhere, at parties, at school, just for fun. So I guess I've always maintained that flexibility. I always had trouble with my middle splits and my left leg split. I was always a really good right splitter, but I don't remember having my middle splits when I was young. When I was 27, I started pole dancing. Still struggled with my middle splits. I also did a lot of strength training because I became a personal trainer and I started working out in the gym and training others, learning a lot about anatomy and fitness and strength and conditioning. So I really worked on my strength around that time. I think that gave me a really good muscle base to begin with, because I think it's really important to have the muscle there before you can actually stretch it. So when I was 30, I moved to a new city to teach at another studio where I continued to teach my flexibility classes as well as pole classes. By then, with all my training, with all the years of experience in ballet, gymnastics, martial arts, personal training, I put together and developed my own flexibility class, which really worked well for me, as well as a lot of other students. And within 3 months, I got my middle splits, which I was so happy about because I actually didn't think that it was possible for me. And it happened, so I was over the moon. I also got my left leg split straight away, pretty much. How do you have so much energy? I think it's in my DNA. I physically cannot sit still. I'm just a very energetic person. I get really excited. Sometimes it's really overwhelming, like I feel like I'm going to explode. But it also works the other way. You know, when I'm down, it's like the end of the world. So I'm like up here, then I'm down here. So I think it's really important to, for myself, to surround myself with positive people so they don't, you know, take away that good energy from me. So most of the time I'm really happy and I just love life and I'm healthy and I drink a lot of water and I get a lot of sleep. So I think it's a combination of everything. I'm also a really passionate person. I get inspired by so many things and I want to try different things. I want to do different things. Yeah, it's mental and environmental. Some people just think I'm crazy though. How did you discover pole dancing? What was your job before being a professional pole dancer? This is from Steph. So my best friend Danny was doing pole classes at a studio called Pole Princess in Melbourne, and she took me along to a breast cancer benefit. So I went along and the girls were doing these performances and I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. So I started classes shortly after, and within a week or two, the director of the studio asked me to train to teach. So I've been teaching pretty much my whole pole career. My job at the time was working in an advertising agency, but I was more in an organizational role. I would manage a team of graphic designers. I worked at a fashion magazine. I worked at a modeling agency where I booked all the talent. I've had lots of different jobs, but it's always been in that sort of creative environment as a coordinator or a manager. So it's crazy because I think everything that I've done in my life has led me up to what I'm doing now. From the video production work to the marketing and advertising, the pole dancing, the fitness, the music that I did as a teenager. It's led me to where I am now. So, what are your favorite songs to perform to at the moment? This is from Scarlett. Courtney Love has a new song out called Wedding Day, which is crazy because the song came out the day before my wedding. I'm so excited to dance to this song. It's punchy, it's raw, It's just really cool. I'm a big fan of Hole and Courtney Love. 50 Cent.
Go.
REO Speedwagon. Why did you decide to cut your hair? This is from Marianne. I've always changed my hair. Since I was 14, I started bleaching my hair myself and putting red or purple or green in my hair. And I wanted something big. I needed a big change. You know, I was moving to LA and I opted for the short hair and I really like it. It's a bit cool, it's a bit crazy. Who and what inspires you? Okay, so this is easy. Female musicians who are strong and independent, who don't give a shit what other people think, who are just doing their thing because that's what they want to do. That's a lyric, a Joan Jett song. Gonna do, girl, gonna do what, girl, do what you're gonna do, that's gonna do. What do you think about the French pole dancing style? I love it. I think it's sexy. It's really different too. It's very, very flowy and raw, and I think it's cool because I watched a lot of your videos and I was really impressed. I dig the French girls. Very sexy, very nice. So how long does it take for me to choreo a routine? So the only time I really choreo routines is when I'm teaching a choreography class or competing. So it's different. When I'm competing, it takes me probably 2 to 3 months because it's not just routine and dance steps and combos that I'm coming up with. It's the whole show, the whole performance, so working out a theme, music, mixing music. It's a really, really long process. So yeah, about 2 to 3 months. And in that time, it changes. So I'll change the song, I'll start again, I'll change my costume, then I'll go back to the original song, and then I might change it again or whatever. It's a really, really cool process. I actually enjoy this part of competing. It's the preparation. It's really, really cool. If I'm choreographing a routine to teach in my classes, it depends. It could take 30 minutes, it could take a couple of hours, it could take a week, it could take 2 weeks. So it really depends on how I'm feeling or how into the music I am, or yeah, it really, really depends. Sometimes I can nut it out like that and think, oh my God, that's awesome. So yeah, that's a good question, but it's just different. Were you born with heels? This is from Sylvie. Okay, so when I started pole dancing as a student, back when I was 27, we started with heels. In Australia, it's a little bit different. The schools actually encourage you to wear the heels right from the beginner's class. So yes, as a pole baby, I was brought into this world with 7-inch stilettos. And I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. I love the feeling I get when I dance with heels on. I love how I look, how they extend me, and they make my legs look longer. Definitely born with heels. Do I plan to come to France soon? This is from Leah. Yes, I am planning a European tour in March next year. So make sure you keep an eye out on my website, on my Facebook page. It's gonna happen. How do you prevent yourself from injuries? Okay, so I've been pretty lucky in my pole career. I've heard a lot of girls injuring themselves, breaking ribs and having shoulder reconstructions. I'm so happy it's not come to that point, but I really think that I've taken care of myself. So I had an osteo that I saw regularly. I've had an ongoing problem with my shoulder, and I've learned how to manage it, whether it's icing it, if it became inflamed, but I got to the point where I did not think it was worth all those multiple deadlifts that I used to do. So I cut back on doing those sort of moves that aggravated my shoulder. Now everything's fine, my shoulder's fine, and yeah, it's just knowing your limitations, because we're still young. We want to look after ourselves now for later on in life. And she also asks, what advice could you give to prevent them, and what is the best way to get injured and we must avoid at all costs when practicing? When you're practicing, we get really, really over-ambitious with moves that we want. We bring videos and pictures, we bring it to practice time, we look at them and say we want to do that, which is great. It's very encouraging to see these new moves that you want to try, but if you don't have the strength yet, you jump into it or you throw yourself into it, it's very easy to injure yourself then. So just being really aware of your capabilities of your body, and if you need to work on the strengthening, take baby steps to get there instead of just throwing yourself. Like a simple invert, a lot of girls, they throw themselves to get upside down. They do a run up and they kick up and they use more momentum and force rather than strength. I think it's really important to build up the strength first, so you're doing it safely, because you can definitely injure yourself then. Also, like the vertical split. So I do a vertical split with my leg off. I've seen girls injure their butt muscle because they don't have the strength built up in their glutes to hold that leg up, especially when you're upside down, which is why it's really good to do those conditioning exercises to strengthen up your glutes, to hold your positions nicely and safely. Merci, ladies. Thank you so much for your questions. I enjoyed answering them, and I'm sure I'll see you next year. Bye.